Hey, Copper nerds. My son Cain's home from college, and we're going through some of his coins. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
We're going to take a look at some of his colonials real quick. Let's get into it. Well, if you haven't checked out our draped bust video, go take a look. Cain shows off more than a dozen of his draped busts. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to toss down some coins in front of him, and he can tell you about them. There's the card. And here comes the coin.
All right.
What can you tell us about this one?
So this is the second New Jersey I got in my collection. I got this from my grandpa. It's quite a neat example. It's got some environmental stuff going on, but you can see the details are pretty nice, and the toning is nice and even. And yeah, overall, pretty nice. One of my favorites in my collection for sure.
So it's a 1786 New Jersey. It's a Maris 24P, which is a rarity 2. Surface corrosion and fine detail are the notes that we see on that card. Those notes were written by my uncle, George Parker. George died a year ago. If you're familiar with this channel, then the lead-in coin on every video that I make is my Sheldon 69. That's from George's collection. So this New Jersey was in George's collection, and then my father, so Cain's grandpa, Steve, bought it from my uncle in 1982, which would have been the year that I was born. And it's been in my dad's collection for like 43 years until he gave it to Cain recently.
So you can see we got the horse and the plow, Nova Caesaria. On the reverse, we have E Pluribus Unum with the shield, classic. One of the earlier examples of using that shield shortly after the Massachusetts Cent.
Let's pop into your second one. I'll just trade you out. Here's the one that you got from me. Which is, not quite as nice, but still a decent little New Jersey. All New Jerseys are cool.
Yeah, we can see there's some minor differences between the two. The horse had is shaped differently, and a lot of things on the obverse are shaped differently. We can see there's less environmental damage on this one, though. Surfaces are way smoother. You can see a nice shine.
But some cleaning. Someone's definitely cleaned it.
Someone definitely cleaned it, for sure. We can see that there's some conflicting toning going on with it. There's some deep browns along with some black on both the obverse and the reverse. But overall, I think it's quite a nice example. And you can see some are those little, from the remnants from the planchet there? Those tiny little voids all across it.
Maybe. It could be environmental damage. I haven't looked that close at that one.
But yeah, either way, interesting example.
It's got kind of a unique shield. It's got the shield that has the extra border around it, sort of a double line outlining the shield.
Does.
I think that's something that's fairly unique for the Mars 28L.
Yeah, I also find it interesting that the shield isn't centered correctly, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's off to the right.
Yeah, is it struck off center, or is that just
I believe that's
a
just
haphazard design?
I believe it's just the way it was designed.
You should ask your buddy Ray about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ray Williams has done a lot of work with you on Colonials, and he's in the New Jerseys.
Yeah, it's his favorite. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll swap you out. Let's look at one of your others.
All right.
Go with that one.
All right. I believe this is my first. Yeah, this is my first Colonial Copper. And
it is, yeah.
Yeah, I got this from Chris Collins in 2024, along with many other coppers, mostly British. Yeah, this is an interesting example. We can see it has some environmental stuff going on, and somebody cleaned it, but it's still an interesting example. And
is there a date on it? Because I think you probably are a decade off right there. I'll bet you it's a 1787.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would absolutely not be in 97, because that would be when the large cents were being minted.
Yep, it would have to have been a draped bust by then.
Yep. So yeah, we 1787. Yep.
Cool. Well, let's round it out with what is definitely your coolest colonial that everybody has already seen on the channel, but they haven't seen you talk about it. Carefully get that foam pulled off.
All right. So This is my Massachusetts cent. The first coin that said the word cent on it. We can see that as a byproduct of the quality of the copper during the minting process, we have a nice wood grain toning. And this is a very, very beautiful example of wood grain toning. This is one of my favorites. It looks absolutely stunning, especially in person.
Oh yeah, who would have been the engraver on that one? Because they changed midstream in Massachusetts.
So we can see that the S's are connected in Massachusetts. This was a Jacob Perkins. And Perkins was a very important historical figure. He made a lot of important inventions regarding like the bathymeter and refrigeration and things of that sort. So it's a very, very prominent historical value on this coin, especially.
So we're going back again to George Parker collection, who was my uncle, and it looks like in 1987 my dad bought it from George, and then that went into Cain's collection this year in 2025.
Yeah, again, a very beautiful coin. It's my favorite in my entire collection. Definitely a stunner.
Yeah, that Woody is cool.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Nice. Well, I think that wraps up the Colonials in your collection to date.
It does. Those are all my Colonials I have so far.
And you're a member of the C4 Club in addition to being a member of Early American Coppers, right?
Yeah, I joined the C4 Club when I was writing my article about the Fujio cent for Pennywise.
Yeah. Do we have that sitting here on my... Let's see. It's not that one. It's not that one. Here it is. Bam, that's you right there. Published in Pennywise. And you did, in fact, talk about the entire independent study you did at the university, at Montana State University.
Yeah, what kicked off this entire project was I was looking for some credits when I was in college, and I really needed to I couldn't find a class I liked. So I went and talked to my professor and asked him for if I could do independent study on because it was I was in a political science major. I am, so I had to convince him like, oh, it's the politics surrounding the U.S. cents. Of course, I didn't really go into the politics that much. I mostly talked about the coins themselves, but it was a very interesting experience, and it got me most of the information that I used for this article here.
Who'd you say was the engraver on this one?
Jacob Perkins.
Perkins. Okay. So this is the article you did on the Fujio cent, but you did articles about the Massachusetts cent and about, I mean, most colonial coins. You did one on the chain cent.
Yeah.
Did you go all the way up to the Lincoln?
I wrote mostly about the early American coppers. I only mentioned the later ones in passing just to fill the gaps.
In your last paper for the class?
Yeah.
So in the October 2025 Pennywise, Cain's got a... almost the 4-page, 3 2/3 page article on the Fujio cent that's quite interesting. Check that one out if you haven't. But yeah, that's the Colonials. Thanks for checking this one out, you guys. Feel free to hit us up in the comments.
Yeah, thanks for checking out my collection, guys. I'll see you next time.
Peace.